I wanted to do like a participatory poetry reading. So I also wanted to create a safe space for sharing and doing a little bit of a meditation. And since we're at like a Divine Feminine conference, something that I've learned about a difference between a masculine way of like protecting and a feminine way of protecting. Like a masculine way might look like you're like standing, I'm ready, I've got a stance and like shoulders tall like this. Like that's a masculine way of protecting, the person is behind you. But a feminine way of setting a safe space of protection maybe looks more like this. With your arms around someone and you are encircling them in this safe space. So with that image in mind, I invite each of you to think of, encourage. Okay, so we're going to tap into this safe space that we're creating and bring someone to your mind, bring someone to your heart that you love. And it can be any of the kinds of love. And I want you to hold space somewhere within yourself for this person and that kind of love that you have for this person. Maybe it's your spouse, so you can hold your ring finger. Maybe you and your sister got your ears pierced together, and so you can hold on to your ear. That's a true story for me. Maybe it's your mother, so you can place your hand on your navel, or maybe you are a mother, and so you can place your hand on your womb. But wherever that person can be embodied, you can remember to bring back again to a member of yourself. Remember that person and hold them during the reading of this poem. This is an adaptation. I adapted this poem, If You Want to Change the World, by Lauren Wills. I adapted it for this conference. So holding that person in this safe space of love. If you want to change the world, love another. Really love them. Hold their hand and guide them gently to your heart's blood, where they can feel your warmth beside them and rest there, and burn their heavy load in your fires. Look into their eyes, look deep within and see what lies dormant or awake or shy or expectant there. Look into their eyes and see there the fathers and grandfathers in all the wars and madness their spirits fought in some distant land, some distant time. Look upon their pains and struggles and torments and guilt without judgment, and let it all go. Feel into their ancestral burden and know that what they seek is safe refuge in you. Let them melt in your steady gaze and know that you need not mirror that rage because you have a sacred heart, a sweet, deep gateway to wash and repair old wounds. If you want to change the world, love another. Really love them. Sit before them in the full majesty of your humanity, in the breadth of your vulnerability, in the play of your child innocence, in the depths of your death. To step forward towards you and swim in the sky's expanse in silent knowing together. And when they retreat, because they will, flee in fear to their cave, gather your grandmothers around you, envelop in their wisdoms. Hear their gentle, hushed whispers calm your frightened child's heart, urging you to be still and wait patiently for their return. Sit and sing by their door, a song of remembrance that they may be soothed once more. If you want to change the world, love another. Really love them. Do not coax out their juvenile, luring them to a web of destruction, to a place of chaos and hatred more terrible than any war fought by their brothers. This is not love. This is revenge. This is the abuse of the ages, the rape of our world. This gives no power to anyone. It reduces us as we cut down our siblings, and it kills us all. and whether their mother held them or could not. Show them the true mother now. Hold them and guide them in your grace and your depth, smoldering in the center of the earth's womb. Do not punish them for their wounds that you think don't meet your needs or criteria. Cry for them, sweet rivers. My sisters, we can bleed it all back home. If you want to change the world, love another. Really love them. Love them enough to be naked and free. Love them enough to open your body and soul to the cycle of birth and of death, and thank them for the opportunity. As you dance together through the raging winds and the silent woods, be brave enough to be fragile, and let them drink in the soft, heady petals of your being. Let them know they can hold you, stand up and protect you, fall back into your arms and trust them to catch you even if you've been dropped 1,000 times before. Teach them how to surrender by surrendering yourself and merge into the sweet nothing of this world's heart. If you want to change the world, love another, really love them. Encourage them, feed them, allow them, hear them, hold them, heal them, and you in return will be nourished and supported and protected by strong arms and clear words and focused thoughts, because they can, if you let them, be all that you dream. If you want to change the world, love yourself. Love your parents, love your siblings, your children, your past partner, from the first one you kissed to the last one you wept over. Give thanks for the gifts of your weaving to this meeting, of the one who stands before you now, and find in them the seed to all that's holy, a seed you can nurture to direct the planting as we grow a new world together. Shalom.
This is a series of poems that I've written. It's titled In the Trees. 7. I ran from home and around the block to the refuge of Grandma's house. I fell into her arms. She wiped my tears and fed me. Then I climbed my favorite tree as she tended her flowers and plants. She let me stay for hours, slumped down in the wide branch of that tree, resting, regulating, watching clouds and cars go by, safe in the refuge of Grandma and my favorite tree. 13. Never good enough, never smart or cool or pretty enough. I stepped off the school bus. My shoes splashed on the wet pavement covered in leaves. I paused and took them in. They were massive, green, vibrant, plucked prematurely from their mother tree by wind and rain. I picked one up. It was bigger than my face, 3 times bigger than my hands. Its veins enchanting, its size mesmerizing, and its beauty spoke to me. You are not forgotten. Your life is beautiful and so worth living. 17. Heartbroken, betrayed by a boy who said he loved me. I walked to the riverbed, sat in my favorite spot surrounded by trees, secluded, safe. I let my tears drop into the water that fed the trees that in return fed me. 23. I woke up from surgery crying out, Grandmother Willow, repeating over and over how much I missed her. Sobbing desperately to go back. Okay, sorry, this one gets me. Back to being a tree that once lived beside her, somewhere in my existence. The grandmother willow, wise and guiding, sovereign, steady as the beating drum. Still, she reminds me to listen for her with my heart. "27. I can't see this. I sat in a secluded office without a window. On my lunch break, when the sun was out, I'd step outside and spread a blanket under the biggest tree and rest. One afternoon, when the trees were bare, leaves of all kinds had been blown together. A pile taller than me sat beneath my favorite tree. And how could I not? I jumped in, jumped again and again, threw giant armfuls of leaves above my head, and felt them fall all around me. Then, smiling, I pulled leaf after leaf from my hair the rest of the workday. 31. I moved to a new state, far from all that was familiar. The world was in lockdown, and my world was dark. I found a trail that cut through thick trees, and I walked it often. Each step pulled me further into their world and away from all the fear that lay outside their sanctuary. The path changed with each season, revealing a new and exciting kind of beauty. In the fall, the wind swirled the leaves around, breaking them free to gently float and toss and turn their way to the ground. My feet stopped and soaked in the magic, while the company of the leaves filled the lonely places in my heart. 32. Stripped of all I used to claim to know, questions swirled in my head, refusing to be silenced. The roots of my identity were purged and pruned and set on fire. I'm tugged and torn back and forth, disconnection, anger, and confusion with my father. Where is she, I ask? Then silence amplifies the way my heart longs for her, my mother God. 33. In my kitchen alone, still flattened against the way the world fell from beneath my feet. I was washing dishes, listening to a podcast by women who seek to learn, who share their findings of hurt. I scrubbed and clanked and rinsed, then heard that anciently the divine feminine, Asherah Mother God, was often represented symbolically through trees. The words slid into my heart and I sank to the floor, held my face in wet soaking hands, and I wept. I felt her familiar presence wrapped around me, felt her majesty, beauty, power, wisdom, and her fierce, unmatched love for me. She may have been hidden, erased, or silenced by man, but now that I've found her, I see she's always been with me in the trees.
So my first one's called All Shapes and Sizes. Women, we are all as varied as a field of wildflowers, bursting with color, texture, aroma, and life. Each unique and true, a one-of-a-kind creation like a snowflake or a star, multifaceted with many shapes, shining the brightest in the dark of night. Beauty beyond compare, images of windblown hair, tousled playfully upon silken shoulders, colored sweet amber like toasted marshmallows. Hands as soft as a lamb, yet wrinkled and aged with wisdom, from holding love as a blanket and banner to all that are fortunate enough to have known their touch. Faces that radiate hope to those they shine upon. Eyes that speak more than 1,000 words with just a glance. A mouth that is more powerful than a surgeon's scalpel. Able to heal and restore tragedies of life with a tender kiss or a gentle word. Arms that carry the loads no man could bear. Like the wildflowers, comparing one to another would be a grave distraction from appreciating the one-of-a-kind beauty in each individual. Alone we can focus upon each petal, but together we are a melody of color, bursting forth on a glorious spring day, a field of dancing flowers to be enjoyed, a place for children's laughter, family photos, a lover's stroll, holding hands, girlfriends dancing, singing and sometimes crying. We are all shapes and sizes. The outside is merely window dressing, at best fancy wrapping with trim. We are what is inside. That is the gift of who we are. This one, again, will be on the back. I brought extra copies. This one is called Shine, and it has to do with our place as women in the universe. I am the sun. The sun shines on its own. It rises every day, gently awaking the starry night, peeking over the horizon slowly, patiently, never in a hurry, just on time. It dispels the night, providing light as a guide to journey another day. When it's time to rest, the light fades to dusk, ablaze with heavenly splendor, a sunset, then quietly disappears over the horizon. The continuous cycle of a journey, encircling the earth day after day, the sun provides so much more than light. It is warmth to the cold, nourishment to vegetation, vitamins and mental support to all living beings, and with instruments, it provides fire. But perhaps the most amazing of all its abilities, among raindrops, it creates a miraculous display of colors. It creates a rainbow. I am the sun. Any person in my life is a mere reflection, a moon. And if lucky enough to cycle in or out of my reflection, they will always be only a moon, a reflection. I am the sun. Being that we are what radiates to those around us, mothers, daughters, sisters, parents. Thank you again for letting me share with you. My name is Laura Sinnott, and this is my poetry.
Morning glory. The word goddess chafed against Puritan Protestant ethics, seducing ego from one guilty somehow of ancient slime, of femaleness, apple and all else wrong for millennia on. As used to it as I had become, hesitation, odd as odd is, until you said, yes, I know moonflower. I planted them for the evening, and morning glories for the morning. As if that ordering of, arranging for, having beauty, bold and gracious, the blue of the sky, deep universe of white, the moonlight cupped fragrant, were all creation's gift to give. And you, a poet, which means from the Greek, creator, maker, were as near to beauty as life can allow without disclosing secrets too sacred. The word goddess, then, is poetry of planning, of planting, a form of blossom of bloom of good. And we go on into eternity, where the making is with greater seeds and earth, the joy broader and deeper. But the intent, the love of it, I think, is not so foreign as once I had supposed. Epicene. Without form or light or time, without eyes to see, mentis obsque corpore, thought not thing, my epicene eye must have known that the two opposites, he and she, were parts of a whole, neither without the other all. Then said, not saying, an inclination, I will choose the one, not the other, in wisdom before beginning, for they are either good. But my epicene eye, if I know the gendered I am now, chose what seemed the better. For a real princess. In this world, several kinds of princesses dwell along those others without thinking or called commoners. One sort of princess is born of royalty, kings, queens, etc., whose grandfathers, great-grandfathers, etc., long dead now, fought great battles, killing other commoners, taking thereby the title of king. Ha! What can that matter in the long run? Another sort of princess is made of lovely cheekbones, high, flowing hair, symmetry of form, etc., whose parents may have reared her well, making her kind and good, or spoiled her, making her unkind and bad, to the joy or sadness of all. Ha! What can that matter in the long run? The best kind of princess is alive in all our hearts. When we know who we are, when we remember whose we are, not the products of our lives only, forgiving thereby sad childhoods, not the result of our forms only, forgiving thereby our looks alone. For we have parents for whom the words king or queen are not enough, who love us as we were and are and will be, who give us crowns of roses in spring, rainbows after rain, sunrises, sunsets, and behold, our own children to rear as sons and daughters of royalty. Hobby Harbor. Is there swagger entering Harbor Freight more than Hobby Lobby? The banks of carabiners, all sizes and colors. No more tools in this year's silks and dried in tall black tubs, row by row. Binders, hot glue guns, soldering irons, canvas, stretch for painting, loose for protecting, cutters, sealers, good lights, magnetic, screw pin holders. One day, a selection of saw blades arrayed before me as I tested caps and holes, having squinted elsewhere when assessing 2x4s. A man shopping for replacement hacksaw blades found the day's deal, 10 pack on for $2.99. But he stayed looking at me and then asked, "What are you doing?" Took some courage, I think, so I explained my project, the current situation, the current problems. He stood silent a second or two, then asked, "You know what you're doing?" Beyond courage there. I nodded, said sure, and without pausing this time, he asked, "Let me see your hands." He just looked, didn't touch, while I explained the scar from batting a kid away from danger, that electric nail gun. No missing fingers, I joked, working hands. He nodded, said, "Good job," and walked away. I see where I might have been offended. I wouldn't have asked him what he was doing if I found him in the beading supplies at my other haunt. It's good to know two worlds, two lingos, neither better, both fraught. A good pride, I hope, when I have proven worthy and turn to making moons. This, I'll just say a little bit about. I have been working on this topic of a Heavenly Mother for a long time. Had no idea how I could really distill it. And I was in the gym, a total stranger said to me what I'm about to say, and it was suddenly, oh, that's it. About time you got here. May we know the why of what we see? Ought we? Taking on faith is right nowness? Need we fear the need? Where you been? Some say intentional, some say suppressed, can't go back, some say here to stay, all say. I've been here all by myself. All in our minds or in our hearts? Can you see clearly, better now? Now you're here, they'll have to straighten up. That's my voice, not yours. My hope. I wish they would. I, knowing you, shall and can help better.
In 1997, I woke up one morning with a crick in my neck, and by the time I was 30, I was as stiff as a board, and it ended up, it was an illness that I knew I would find the cure for, but until I met the Divine Feminine and connected to writing again, I wasn't able to heal it in the way that I knew I could, and these poems were ultimately inspired by that healing experience. And I've never read poetry for anyone. I have a hard time even reading for my mom, so this is a big deal. Electric blue. This love rushes like a waterfall over my heart, filling, flowing, falling until it crashes. The ways I will journey are whispered through the trees and echo in the wind. There at the tops of the breeze, waiting to fall and land in my thoughts, to be heard and realized, where time doesn't exist and every day is new. Change was required to find this love. It looked different from what I was told. I learned to believe in a love that was outside of me, and a love that came from other people, and a love that clung to memory, and a love I could own. That love couldn't remain full, and then I heard the whispers beneath the chaos. Why can't she hear us, this imperfectly perfect human who is hiding for no reason? We've been waiting and watching through all of the seasons. We've whispered and nudged, we've sent her the signs. She keeps asking and we show her again and again, but she doesn't see. What is keeping her? She begs and we've shown her. She was too afraid to make it clear. She couldn't understand her ancient wisdom. The golden grains were hiding in the shadows. She was so frozen in her heart, the sun within couldn't shine until she found the keys to her grains of gold. Then, there was no stopping the rush. The flow of light that was ready and patient, she could only receive her gifts when she was willing. We could no longer contain this magic once she was ready. It belonged to her, it surrounded her, it filled her, it was her. Electric blue energy course through her body, flowing currents of consciousness, layer upon layer, waking her ever so gently. This rushing river of love flows fast, but she won't drown, tread water, or wade. Not anymore. She will surf the waves with her heart. It knows the way. Every millimeter, every inch, every dream. Electric blue energy rushes through her fingers. Snap to receive. It has been waiting. The next one is blood roses. What is sacrifice? Is it living? My blood keeps me alive, as does my breath. But without spirit, life is lost. If there is no passion, the blood becomes sick. The blood can't boil in divine love. No love chemicals will brew. No alchemy to the heart to guide the spirit. It becomes frozen, trapped. There will be no flying today, no bliss for the girl, no roses for her. She doesn't deserve it. She made her blood a sacrifice. It became slow, unmoving, only pain, her masculinity to save the day. She hung herself on a cross and bloodied her hands. What can I be for you today? A ray of social sunshine, a perfect stream of moonbeam? I promise not to make waves. How can I crucify myself to receive your love? Let me bend over backwards. I'll hang upside down. I'll make my legs into scissors and cut myself into puzzle pieces just to be here. My blood is a sacrifice. It's what we were taught. The wounds of it all, the wounds of religion, of being female, being male, of being human. What's it all for? If it doesn't come from the soul, it might as well be hell. And this one, I got the song stuck in my head. And even though it's been around longer than me, I didn't actually know the lyrics. And so I read them. And this came out. This is not a response to the performer. This is more of a response to the wounded parts of all of us. Gold dust woman. Walk on, gold dust woman. The one I held so high above me was never above me. You can step off your pedestal. I've already taken you down. Have your illusions been shattered? Am I just a heartless challenge like the ones that have come before? The ones you've ignored? Do they ever cry out loud? Cry out loud. How do you pick your path? Will you prey on the weak? Will you bare your cougar teeth? Will you swallow the sunrise and take the rays for yourself? Can you leave any sun for anyone else? Walk on, gold dust woman. Walk on, ancient queen. You are not above me. I'll take you down. I'll make you cry until you're able to see through the through the mirror of mystery of how your truth really speaks. Can time stand still long enough for you to see an honest reflection? The silver spoon is not real. I see you beneath the dust of what has been shattered. You are not a heartless challenge. You are not a pale shadow of a woman. You are not a black widow, nor a dragon, and neither am I. Now pick yourself up off the floor, crawl into a cozy, comfy blanket of love. Break down, break down, break down, and go home to your soul. I can't guarantee I'll still be here, waiting for you to claim your hold. But I hope I can see the day when the light behind your eyes understands. The gold was always within. It was never about the spoon. And the last one is called Blossoms. To blossom to the you that you are. Let go of the you everyone thinks you are. It isn't your responsibility to wear those blossom burdens. That isn't the way your garden should grow. The petals can't be soft. The pollen can't spread. The roots to the heart fragment and break under that much pressure. This isn't the way of gardens. There is no pressure to grow. All of nature knows what to do on its own. Tune into the mind that knows you best, better than all the rest. It's not the logic way, but the heart-knowing way. But there's too much to do today. That's okay. Crumple it all, toss it to the floor, and jump, stomp, ground, ground, ground. It is safe to start over. Let the ashes soak through, rise high and fly. Birds into flame, the rise of the phoenix, The glory of fire leads the way and beams like a star. Thank you. I'm Kayla Gibson. This first poem is called Here. It was the first poem I wrote when I realized that I had a connection with a mother god, a divine feminine, and just a little background. When newborn babies are born, they are born with certain reflexes. The rooting reflex, the marching reflex, as well as the crawl. You can put a newborn baby on a mother's stomach and it will instinctively crawl to the breast to feed without any assistance. It's a magical thing to see. So anyway, this is Here. I've been waiting for you, but not because you haven't arrived. You're already here. I've been waiting for you. There's no grand entrance, no fanfare, because you've been here since before the world began. Its creation you birthed, screaming from your womb, and yet you made not a sound. You silently birthed the world, and the world has kept your silence. We rooted for you, pounding our fists against your chest, straining our ears until finally we could hear your breath on the wind telling us that you gave us life. We made our slow crawl following the beat of your heart, the larghetto drum reverberating to our hearts that you are here. We have been placed upon you, our feet stepping in time to your beat, but never realizing how close we were to your nourishing breast. Our noses catching whiffs of your floral fragrance, but still too far away. Only some make that instinctual crawl, navigating their way to your warm, rounded breasts, where we can at last suckle on your milk that never runs dry and fills us with your love. Sustenance that makes our bellies ache with want for more, and a yearning to turn to our sibling and point at you saying, she is here. The next poem is, sorry, the dig through. Sorry, just give me a moment. I've lost it. Okay. So this next poem I wrote, it was after some research into the Hopi tribe about grandmother spider. And it actually was inspired by that belief, and it was inspired as well by Charlotte's Web. So it's called The Weaver. Our mother, the spinner of creations, weaving the web that is our home, leaving messages for us in her translucent writing, sticky to manage with our awkward fingers, but with our eyes open, too awesome to ignore. She fell out of view before our eyes could behold her. We might weep for her loss, were it not for her messages still entwined around our hearts. Our primal desires allow us to spin our own silk as we leap from the edge and allow the wind to carry us on our thin, fragile threads, balloons in the sky, with no jubilant colors, but the joy in our hearts, hoping to find a more permanent, eternal solid perch. Find the strands that lead back to her heartstrings, and in her image, we are found and whole, her life giving us holy purpose, feeding us, nurturing us, and as we partake, we become one with her, spinning and weaving worlds without number and lives without end, creatress, seamstress, weaver of stars and time, our mother. And then lastly, this one is an ode to my mother's. She goes the way of the land, a tribute to my matriarchs. Come, my children, for I soon go the way of the land.
kneel before me as I wish to bless my seed and the fruit of my womb. O my daughters, that you could stand and take your rightful place as queens and priestesses, that you could know the everlasting love of your heavenly mother, whose earth I have walked these many years. Oh, that your wisdom could gush forth as the waters from a spring, that you could honor your matriarchal line of Kay, Marilyn, Hannah, Ingvilder, Johanna, Nina, Mary, Edna, and Julia, Holly, Carol, and Edith. Women who were nurses, midwives, cooks, seamstresses, scholars, artists, and teachers. Women who were hard workers of the land and made their homes a place of refuge. Women who were God-loving and sacrificed family, community, home, and land for their Savior. Women who bore children and lost children. Women who lived through wars, depressions, and plagues upon the land. Remember the stories of your biblical sisters and matriarchs, Tabitha, Abish, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, Rachel, Eve. See how they opened the eyes of others to God's goodness through their good works of gathering alms for the poor, testifying of Christ, trusting in the Lord, and taking on the mantle of being a mother of nations and generations. Each of these women and every woman has a seed of that divinity inside of her, to be the mother of generations, to be the pioneer of change, to inspire goodness and make the world a little better for the weary and suffering, for the poor in spirit and the brokenhearted. May you speak kindly of others. May you be a friend to all. May those that come to your door find a warm hearth and a loving embrace. May you know your worth and value as a daughter of God, your heavenly mother, who knew you before the world was created. I give you a matriarch's blessing that my love will follow you long after my body has been buried in the earth. Though I return to dust, I am made anew, washed clean in my Savior's blood, and dressed in robes of power and priestesshood. I am encircled by my heavenly mother's embrace, and I pray her eyes will always be on you as long as we are parted. I pray you will follow the example of your elder brother, Jesus Christ, keeping his teachings close to your heart to love one another and love God. Remember that things take time. If they are worthy of your efforts, be generous with your offerings of love. A well-intentioned offering can soften hearts. Remember that though you may not always agree with someone, do not ever fail to understand. Remember that you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be good. Remember that you are wonderful, a blessing to all, and you are loved and mine forever. Pray to be close to your Savior, and he will remain close to you, just as I will also remain with you, as long as you remember me. I go now to sit on a golden throne in the mansion my mother has prepared for me, where I will be crowned with eternal glory and joy in my posterity.
Okay, so this is the mother as a tree. Ancient Israel honored her. They saw her in the trees. They beheld her as a tower and preached beneath her dancing leaves. With lofty branches and deep roots, her firstborn was the born fruit. From her, a fruitful tree of life. Asherah, their understanding of the wife. A logical interpretation for a tree to be divine, for the tree to be a tower, and the tower to be thine. For I have never failed to feel thine power in the midst of a great growth. It's simple to see why they'd endow her with an image of creation and growth. Of course, it is a symbol, a way to understand, but how soberingly beautiful to imagine her wooden hands in her strong lumber that shelters in the storm, strong enough for her to carry the first spirit she had borne. From budding blossom, fruit to cross, one mother's communion and another's loss. As a tree, she withstood the atoning tempest. As a tree, she held her son's body lifeless, a presiding image of the sacrifice he made, one that held him before the grave he overcame. We know the Israelites sought her with the image of a tree, but her true image is in the daughters made like her, you and me. next one is a psalm for the tree of life. If I could see the rings of the great tree of life, I would behold the aging and wisdom of the wife. My fingers could stroke over an eternity of her, marked in the oak the moments that were. Eons are in her wooden halos, a journal of the trees, joys and sorrows, sacrifice to bring me to my knees. I'd pass my trembling fingers o'er the splinters of lessons learned. These patterns bear her words and the divinity she's earned. This sacred tree tells scripture of a wise heart that knew, though her son bled from every pore, that we needed him too. Her rings would tell me stories of her work, of her glory. Though she is not truly wooden, I do feel her in the trees. Though she is in my own image, I do long to see her rings. And then this, I'll share one more poem. This is called Soothing Tree. Wanted to keep this all in a theme. Nestled beneath a towering beauty with arms extended gracefully, I hear the rustling leaves chime softly in the breeze. A time-honored chorus of peace, a melody to accompany prayerful knees. Now my shady place to rest underneath another mother's nest. This pillar of bark extends fruitfully toward the heavens. Sturdy roots divinely dive, embedding in the earth by design. To witness your majestic fortitude, I must be still in our solitude. I bring with me my stress, and in turn you give me rest. Take from me the irritating vibrations, the buzzings of my inner limitations. May the wind's whispers whisk them away through your branches' elegant sway. To witness, on cushioned cool grass of a day just begun, beneath fading moonbeams and morning sun, I steep in your heavenly love and reflect on the joy thereof. Whether by starlight or the flight of a dove, be it by earth or the heavens above, in the wake of a wave or neath a reverent tree, all the soothing things testify of thee. Thank you.
So, this first piece is entitled Queen of the Cosmos. I am the Queen of the Cosmos. I am the star that twinkles in your night sky. I am the comet, burning hot, blazing as it shoots through your consciousness, setting your mind ablaze as you yearn to know the truth of who you are. As your soul searches for secrets that secret societies have kept, as a way to manipulate your mind in an attempt to steal a spirit that can't be stolen, but only forgotten. I am remembrance. I am the thing outside of yourself to remind you of the thing I put inside of you. I am freedom. I am the darkness that bursts the lights of the sun, the stars, and the moon. Don't you see? I am all of it. I am the gravity that keeps your feet on the ground. I am the weightlessness of freedom. I am matter, and I am antimatter. I am all things. I am galactic. I am ethereal. I am out of this world, and thus my divine children, so are you. Made of stardust, but an inheritor of the kingdom. The earth and the cosmos are yours to explore, for it is your birthright. If I am space, you are matter, and everything that you think, do, and feel matters. So choose divinity, for it is what you are, what I am. You are the universe, a womb to birth creation and creators alike. Life is what you make it, so co-create with the Creator, Queen of the Cosmos that I am. Forgot to mention, this is going to be a piece that discusses a bit about time, who we were, who we are, and who we're going to be. All from my perspective, of course. So this second piece is entitled, I Am My Ancestors. Now I realize this one may make some people uncomfortable, but it is my truth and the truth of people who look like me. So I'm holding this space right now so you can hear, again, the I am presence in the divine feminine through people who look like me. I am my ancestors, born black, and brown, one with their divine heritage, always wearing the crown. Hair that reaches for the sky, eyes that reflect the spirit. We always embodied God, but not everyone wanted to hear it. We preached our gospels and we sang our song. We exhibited glory in the place where we belonged. They attempt to steal souls just like they attempt to steal land. Little did they know that we are part of the master plan. Bull-breaking black men, kidnapping our indigenous women, throwing our babies to gators still couldn't break our spirit. So they went for the soul, but the great I am wasn't hearing it. But you see, you are the ancestors. For what is blackness but the absorption of all lights? For you come from a black womb man, the carrier of the Eve gene. So what you do to us, you ultimately do to yourselves. But you see, I am who I am, and I have seen this thing through, and we have cycled back to a time where the spirit of the ancestors will flow through the all that is, because that is who you are, because you are that I am, and I am the ancestors, and they are that I am. What a master plan. It is finished. Once again, we will be inheritors of the kingdom of the great I am. Genesis 15:13-14 states, God said to Abram, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, where they will be enslaved and oppressed 400 years. But I will also judge the nation whom they will serve, and afterwards they will come out with many possessions. Thank you. That is I am my ancestors. Last but not least, something that I think can excite us all, which is the mystery of the life, the mystery of the universe, who we all are. How many of us sit up outside at night, look at the stars, and feel that connection, and know that you're a part of something much bigger, something much grander. This is going to be for you. Those of you who love the mysteries in life, this is entitled Master of Mystery. Again, my name is Danielle Adara Oliver Brown. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I am the Master of Mystery. All things, seen, unseen, and in between. Omnipresent, I am. In all places, in all spaces, in all times, and in all ways, always. I am unseen unless you have ears to see me. I am unseen unless you have eyes to see me. I am unheard unless you have ears to hear me. And I am not felt unless you have the spirit to feel me. Who am I? I am. I am multidimensional, and I am divine. I transcend through the mediums you call space and time. I am space and time. You move through me, and I move through you. The master of mystery holds the key to you. Climb the ladder, and you will see my face and my glory. In a mystery I shall no longer be. The time is coming for a new thing to be done, a new world to be birthed, where we all return back to the one. All things will be known because you are part of the all-knowing one. So shift out of the fear frequency and dive into this mystery, because this is the big one. To them, God chose to make known how great among the Gentiles are the riches of the glory of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Colossians 1:27. Thank you so much. My name is Danielle Oliver. I go by She is Sekhmet on all of my social media platforms. I am a light language activator, a quantum healer, all of these great things. I am a teacher. I write prophetic poetry. So if you ever want to connect to that divine feminine presence in any space, in any way, if you ever just need your cup filled or to be poured into, please find me, and I will gladly do that for you all. Thank you for allowing yourself to be in this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed day.
I invite you guys to close your eyes with me just for a few seconds. We're going to breathe in all that you need. Hold it. Now slowly exhale what no longer serves you. Now feel free to open your eyes. We're in the present moment, you and I. Let's begin. Matcha latte with oat milk, please. That'll be $5.23. As I sit down and let my fingers dance across the Mac keyboard, and I write in a coffee shop, my head begins to spin. And it fills with thoughts of a hopeful romantic, the what ifs. What if I meet my soulmate today? What if today is the day our eyes finally meet? I let my words decorate the pages on my Word doc, hoping I'll bump into the love of my life as I take another sip of this green foamed escape, thinking they would be here, right? Enjoying all the things I do, right? So, I take a look around and I notice how happy and content I am right now, in this very moment, writing in my own company, when an epiphany strikes my mind. She's 5'7", strong, clever, green-eyed, gorgeous soul. I am the love of my life. Chamomile tea. Anxiety is pressing hard against my chest. I sound sorry. Overthinking has become second nature to me. I'm learning to enjoy life again. And being in the present moment is a thing of the past. Being present is something I know I'll learn to obtain again. So, I play a song on repeat until I learn to enjoy it again. Remembering how to be happy is something I never thought I'd need to learn to reassimilate to. Living in constant fear of everything that surrounds me doesn't make me feel like I'm living at all. Moments where my mind is at ease feel so blissful. Learning to love myself again is a fun journey that I don't know how to navigate at all. Finding my way through it all without a compass, learning to listen to my intuition, trusting my body, holding my own hand. I sip chamomile tea when my head spins. Then, after a little while, I'm back in my body. That's chamomile tea. Latina. My skin is white. My eyes are green. I don't speak Spanish well. Does that make me white? No, because I've experienced racism. I've experienced segregation. They know I'm not one of them. Yet, my own kind don't fully accept me. I'll always be what no. You know, my eyes are green, but they're a fierce green. My skin may be white, but the blood that runs through my veins is just as red as my family's blood. The blood that doesn't live in this country. I don't speak Spanish well, but I can learn. And my heart is filled with Latin pride. Latinas come in all different shades, shapes, and spice levels. This is the last one. It's called Agape Love. I tried to make you part of my world, but you already built a town in a faraway land. People make me feel like I'm crazy. Crazy because I want a love that's so pure that nothing can taint it. They call me a dreamer, but people reach their dreams every day. So what's the difference with love? Everyone talks about how generic everything is, how things were good back in the days, and that there's no originality left in the world. So let me take you inside my idea of love. Yes, it's hard to find, but I believe that if I think this way, someone else out there must too. Lack of originality, right? I want a love that only grows. The Greeks, they call it agape love, and I'll call it your name.
I'm Jess Burdett. My first poem is called Held. The mother can hold all feeling, emotion, and all things that happen to me. Her gift is of vastness and fullness and depth. all growth and expanse is she. She doesn't ask me to enjoy or to get it, just hold it. Yes, that is the key. Don't strive to be better, just soak in this moment. And now, suddenly, I see. Helping me hold all the feelings, emotion, and all things that happen to be. Swathed in her vastness and fullness and depth, I become a little more as she. Mother. The first concept I grasped, a hand, latch, attach. The first person I knew, and the last. And my last is called The Beginning. And the earth was without form, and we felt her great void, darkness upon the face of the deep. Then her spirit moved upon the face of the waters, and in us the babe leaped. This birth, this beginning, this baby she's spinning, Alpha, Omega, rejoice. She has brought forth a son, a great victory won, not without cost, without price. The great mother pursued, to the wilderness flew, and her children, their mother denied. And the earth was without form, and we felt her great void, darkness upon the face of